can of cola. For many people, it's more than just a drink. When you're tired, frustrated, or just enjoying fried chicken, there's something about that fizzy, sweet taste that feels like a little break from reality. But then, almost immediately, comes the guilt. Isn't this going to make me gain weight? That's when people reach for a can of Zero Coke. Zero sugar, 0 calories. Almost like a get-out-of-jail-free card. But is it, really? Today, let's unpack that question. What exactly does Zero Coke do to your body? And how does that compare to regular cola? First, let's clear something up. Is Zero Coke truly zero in terms of calories? Technically, yes. Most Zero Cokes contain about 0 to 2 kcal per can. In the US, anything under 5 kcal per serving can legally be labeled 0 calorie. So from a labeling standpoint, they're not lying. But calories alone don't tell the full story. Calories are just a unit of energy. What really matters is how your body responds metabolically. And that's where the difference between Zero Coke and regular Coke becomes far more interesting. Let's start with regular cola. Take classic Coca-Cola, for example. The ingredients are simple: carbonated water, high fructose corn syrup, or sucrose, caramel coloring, phosphoric acid, caffeine, and flavorings. The real action happens with the sugar. One can contains about 39 grams of sugar. That's roughly 156 kilocalories. Now that sugar is a mix of glucose and fructose. They sound similar, but your body treats them very differently. Glucose is readily absorbed and used by muscles, the brain, and pretty much every cell in your body. It raises your blood sugar and triggers an insulin response. That's part of a predictable, regulated metabolic process. Fructose, on the other hand, is mainly metabolized by your liver. If you consume too much, especially without burning it off, your liver can convert that excess into fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis, literally creating new fat. So with regular cola, you're getting a burst of energy, an insulin spike, and potentially a fat storage signal if you're not burning it off. But all of that is predictable biology. Your body knows what to do with sugar. Now let's compare that to Zero Coke. Same fizzy texture, similar taste, but no sugar. Instead, it contains artificial sweeteners, usually aspartame and acesulfame potassium, ACE-K. These sweeteners are incredibly potent, 200 times sweeter than sugar. That means you only need a tiny amount to create a very sweet taste. So the calorie count stays close to 0. But here's where it gets tricky. Your mouth tastes something sweet, but your gut and bloodstream don't receive the expected sugar. Biologically speaking, this creates confusion. When your brain senses sweetness, it anticipates incoming energy. This triggers what's called the cephalic phase insulin response, an early release of insulin just from the anticipation of sugar. But then, the sugar never arrives. So insulin still gets released, your blood sugar drops slightly, and you might start to feel hungry or crave carbs again. This can lead to rebound eating, consuming more calories than if you just had the regular soda in the first place. There's also increasing evidence that artificial sweeteners impact your gut microbiome. One notable study published in Nature in 2014 showed that artificial sweeteners like saccharin and aspartame altered gut bacteria in mice and caused glucose intolerance, even though the mice weren't consuming actual sugar. Human studies are more complicated and not entirely conclusive yet. But there's enough concern to say that 0 calories doesn't mean 0 metabolic impact. Let's go one step further. What happens in your brain? Sweetness is a reward signal. It activates dopamine, which makes you feel good. But when sweetness isn't followed by actual energy intake, like when you drink Zero Coke, your brain registers that something's off. Imagine Watching a movie trailer that looks amazing, and then finding out there's no full movie, just the trailer, over and over. Over time, this disconnect between taste and caloric payoff weakens your body's appetite control system. You keep chasing that satisfaction, but never get it. The result? Cravings intensify. You snack more. You feel unsatisfied. It's not just about what's in your stomach. It's about how your brain responds. Now let's pause and ask an honest question. If regular Coke gives your body predictable signals, and Zero Coke confuses those signals, which is actually better? What if I said this? Maybe it's better to take a brisk walk or do a short workout and then enjoy a real Coke afterward. A 400-meter jog around a track takes about 3 to 5 minutes and can burn roughly 30-50 kcal. Do that a few times and you've burned off the energy from a regular can of cola. And drinking a Coke after physical activity can actually feel more satisfying. You're replenishing, not just indulging. In that context, regular Coke becomes a reward that matches your body's signals. It fits the rhythm of your physiology, exertion, then reward, not just sweetness without meaning. There's another layer that's often ignored. Mental health and metabolic health are deeply intertwined. Stress, anxiety, and sleep disruption increase cortisol, which encourages muscle breakdown, fat storage, and insulin resistance. So managing your diet isn't just about macros and calories. It's also about emotional rhythm and psychological balance. Artificially sweetened drinks may reduce your calorie count on paper, but if they leave you mentally unsatisfied or metabolically confused, you might end up worse off, both physically and emotionally. Sometimes, the healthiest thing you can do is eat real food, feel real satisfaction, and move your body in real ways. So what's the takeaway? Zero Coke may be zero in numbers, but not in effect. It still influences your hormones, your microbiome, your appetite, and your brain. It's not neutral, just invisible on the label. Meanwhile, regular Coke delivers calories, glucose, insulin, and, yes, if consumed excessively, fat storage. But at least your body understands the signal. It's a full message, not a confusing half story. I'm not here to demonize Zero Coke or glorify sugar. Both have risks. Both can be enjoyed in moderation. But don't be fooled into thinking Zero Coke is nothing. The body is smarter than a label. So next time you open a can of soda, ask yourself, what am I really craving? The sweetness or the satisfaction? Because sometimes choosing the real thing paired with real movement and real awareness isn't just better for your waistline. It's better for your biology and better for your peace of mind. And that is worth more than zero.